Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Oh man, we got so many shows coming to conclusions. It kind of sucks, but at the same time, it always just means more stuff is coming, so it's not too bad to be like down about it, but at the same time, you're kind of like, man, if only these seasons can be longer and last forever. But of course, you gotta make room on the network channels that they're being posted on. So let's get right in it. Yeah. Um, I was really actually contemplating what I wanted to talk about first, but we're definitely gonna talk about the strongest of them all. And how he pretty much saves this mermaid girl type of people, and just hearing this, like, just hearing about, what, she wanted and the opposite of what was done. And I do apologize if you guys can hear anything in the background. I have some people over looking at my roof and stuff, so sorry about that. But we get this, interesting information of after she's been saved, and we kind of understand like what she's been going through all this time. Our main character don't really care, right? He's just like, he called me big brother. You need all the help. It's whatever. So I don't really care. um, but at the same time, I don't think he actually put this girl in this place knowing that she would just get taken, right? I don't think he did that on purpose. I'm pretty sure he knew, that there was someone going to either be following him or that there could be someone possibly still following him. So for him to want to get rid of this girl who he just, saved or whatever, it made a lot of sense because everything he's going to be doing from like there on out is going to keep putting them in trouble. And this is coming from a guy who's already said that he would fight a god, right? So what's one of the last things you really want around you when a god might be in your way or try to attack you? You do not want a little girl that you got to protect the whole time, man. That's a rough situation for anybody to try to, make good of, because in this type of world, everybody is fair game. Not only are people going to go, as crooked as possible to try to get some, advantages and just try to win in general, these are easy things for people to pick apart. And that's another reason why this show kind of is growing on me so much, is because the people that he has on his squad aren't capable of just losing their lives, all just so easily. So let's say they get separated, none of them I would have like expectations of dying, right? Like they're relatively good enough to handle situations on their own almost completely. And to think that if one person wanted to, they could do a lot of damage. Like, out of all the people he has with him, the strongest is probably the vampire, right? The girl that he is like 110% comfortable saying is his lover, which I thought was kind of like weird that they pretty much hit it off so fast. It makes sense. When she was freed from her prison, she was pretty straightforward with him and how she was feeling and how she was appreciative of what he had done for her. So it wasn't like, oh my god, how is this happening? This is gotta be fan service. She would never like him. Like it was pretty real, which felt natural and cool. The other thing that felt like pretty natural was the fact of her going to be able to accept more and more people that come into his life. because not only is she being treated special within, all times, and if something happens that she is, envious of, you can say, like she wants to do herself, she'll make it known. She'll be like, I'm doing that next, so yeah. Like she's probably one of my favorite characters, as well as you know, she's clearly pretty special throughout this, gonna be special throughout this story. But yeah, out of all of them, she's definitely up there. Now to talk about the Parvata. She is powerful. She is very, very powerful. I can't go that way because there's a blocked door. And because she's so powerful, it kind of scares me in the grand scheme of, what if she gets controlled again, right? Like, what if someone tries to, do all that stuff again? I doubt it would happen, but I wouldn't put it past this show to kind of start targeting the people. Excuse me, I apologize. Start targeting the people around him instead of targeting just him himself, because after a while, they're gonna find out that he's too powerful for them, right? And if that is the case, what do? If you're a loser and have no shame, and like you already been shown up and that you can't win and stuff, but then you just go out of your way to still try to win in any way means, you would probably go and attack one of the girls, right? So I am now looking forward to anything that could come from just the show in general, like everything that we have up right now. There's a lot of this story pointing towards him being like an overlord almost, right? Like some kind of evil king. Oh, I got the new dungeon, guys. Let's go. This just came out not long ago, this with an update. There should be new armor, new mods, and new stuff happening here. So yeah, hopefully new enemy that I haven't even seen before. I really, really love the fact that whatever happens in this show, like through and through, we're probably going to get, some comedy. We're going to get some brutality, man. We got some straight up hardcore kills. Like, this man knows what these people are doing, right? So he hates it. Not only that, he then, shows how much of little cares he gives, right? He straight up goes and just blasts this guy multiple times, and by doing so, it really kind of shows you why this character is so, like, sketch, right? Like, he literally was just, you know what, I don't like you, and I don't like anything you've done here, so you're done now, like, he makes these choices, and that's just what's gonna happen. There's no questioning it anymore, so I do like that aspect of his character, and I do hope that this, like, continues or whatever. Like, I hope they do more seasons, because to be fair, this show definitely had a rough beginning with, like, everybody, right? Like, I heard from fans, I've heard from, like, multiple people that are just, not really happy with how fast this thing went, but for some reason, like, not reading and knowing, like, how much stuff they clearly skipped and, missed out on dropping, it's still entertaining for me, right? And I'm sorry to say that I kind of been enjoying it, and I'm actually late to it. Like, I saw some of the CGI and some of the monsters that were in this show, and I didn't care for it, right? I wasn't a big fan of what I was seeing, just like the design of the dragons, and I was like, nah, if it's gonna be like a 3D show with every single monster, I'm good. But then I started actually listening to the story and seeing what this whole thing was about, and I was like, my god, give me more, please. Like, this is sick. This guy is literally in the worst situation a main character has like ever been in some time that I've seen, and he's trying to make something of it, right? He's trying to actually uh, live after what he's been going through. So that's absolutely hype for me. Not only that, it just puts into perspective how like how much of a crazy story this has been from start to finish. This guy's gone from, being pretty happy and trying to help his friends and stuff to now he's just trying to get to the bottom of what the heck has put him in this situation. And along the way, we might just wind up finding a couple of, people that don't mind helping and sticking around. So now we have someone calling him Papa, and I don't know really how comfortable he is with it, seeing how he'd rather be called Big Brother than a Pop Pop. So yeah, it's getting relatively interesting in that regard. I love shows that just like to have fun with its characters and actually give us um, something to look forward to in the future, right? Like we've seen a lot of these characters, like what they've been through and how they've been through it, like by themselves and whatnot. So know that there's someone out there that can protect them from any new harm. It's got to be reassuring, like, oh, we are always getting hurt. Is this thing gonna do anything? Nope. Um, and with us always getting hurt, we never thought we had like a real chance, of having a normal life and stuff like that. So to think that that might be possible just because of this guy is really cool. Not only is it really cool, it kind of gives perspective on just what could happen if he ever kind of just gets like not taken out, but like if he gets taken. These ladies are so strong. We don't know how strong the mermaid girl is going to become and if he's going to train her or whatever, but we know how strong our girls are, right? Like they're pretty up there. So that's the promising side of this, is they don't even really need his help anymore as much as they just enjoy being around him. Like he's already given them the help that they could pretty much take on the world by themselves, but because he was the one that helped them, because he's still with them all through it, he's been with them through all this, and they've been with him, it grows on me in the case of like, they'll probably continue this trade-off of, you helped us, so we just want to stay around to help you. We want to see if we can make you, happy. Like there's not much else we can do besides, keep thanking you over and over, and that's probably getting old. So now we hear a lot from our Dragonborn about just, how she felt about like multiple women always being around him, including women that have like good hearts and all this other stuff that can kind of muck up the works for others, right? Like if you really wanted to be with this guy, you shouldn't, like in the dragon's perspective, he's like, you shouldn't be, just handing him out. You shouldn't be loaning him out like that, because what if any of us try to steal his heart? And she's just like, well, you can try. You guys are important, but you ain't taking mine. So I appreciate that, like not only does she have faith in, him going around calling her a lover and stuff, but it truly feels like she feels the same way, right? Like there's not this one way thing where she's just being called a lover and then not really living up to that expectation of, actually becoming and acting like one. But I don't know. This show has definitely grown on me. I was not expecting to be like this into it as a whole, but overall I really do see possibility for a second season to do relatively good. Not only good, but maybe give us some craziness that could transpire the show have more heavily, because as of right now, like, the show is pretty much just influenced by our main character. Like, everything our main character kind of does brings out something in people, right? Like, it kind of puts everybody in a place where either they're trying to fight him, or he doesn't see what they're doing as good and he wants to fight them, right? So I like where he's going with his arc, or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, this computer was hard to see. um, but at the same time, it feels, I don't know, it feels weird that everything we've gotten so far in this show has been relatively, like, funny after, like, the hardcore stuff. Like, we saw a lot of crazy stuff. So to see all of this happening now, and it being kind of like just funny and jokey, it's weird. But at the same time, it's been working quite well now anyway, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't feel out of place anymore, because they've done so many comedy types of scenes and episodes now that it feels a part of the show. It doesn't feel forced, as much as it did when the story was just completely brutal and dark. So we'll see how all this plays out. I've definitely got to see the light novel and stuff like that, because that's one of the things that I do with my fans, or I do with just people in general that I talk to about these things with, is if you give me advice, or tell me there's something better out there for me to understand why things are happening the way they are, then I like to go and check out those references, right? I don't just like to be like, oh, thank you for that information, and then not even go and look it up. Like, what was the point of thanking you for it then, right? So I really do have plans of reading up on this and seeing just, what was all kind of left out on the chopping board to get so far ahead of everything so quickly as they did. So hope you look forward to that, and probably a weird video. Excuse me. It'll probably be like a why you should watch, or why I might make a new category for shows that have weird adaptations or something, like why did they choose to do this or something. Because that's a lot of the things I do on this channel. Is I love to hear what's really going on and what people truly decided to go with their shows. So all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I got another video to drop, so it'll probably be on this same area. So if you want to see me finish this area, or you're just one of the supporters and you show up to help your boy out, thank you so much. I'll be dropping a video on Copcraft next, so stick around for that, or I will talk to you tomorrow if no other animes come out today to replace the Sacred Beast. So that's also a thing that hasn't happened yet. Dang it. Alright, my anime people. Peace.